Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm actually going to do a video that I thought I did one of these about a year and a half ago, and apparently I didn't. So it is going to be a what is in my travel makeup bag. So I'm pretty sure I wasn't even living here last time I did that video. If not, we would have been living here not very long, and we've been here for 4 years nearly. So that's how long it's been. I have found some amazing new products since then. In fact, I'm pretty sure nearly everything in there has been discovered in the past 2 years or so, or stuff that I used to hate and don't like, and now I love it. So and things like that. But if you guys are interested in seeing what I keep in my travel makeup bag, pretty much these are the things that I would take internationally and also like domestically. So it doesn't matter if I'm flying, if I'm going by a car, if I'm just going somewhere for the weekend, if I'm going like overseas for 2-3 weeks, this is probably the stuff I would still take, because a lot of times when I'm on holidays, I don't actually use my makeup. I went away with my dad for a week, which was to a place that's 5 hours north from here. Actually 5, it was about 7 hours north actually. And I took this stuff with me and I didn't even use it at all. So I planned on using it, but I didn't. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I do keep in my travel makeup bag, then just keep watching. So my bag is the same one, I'm pretty sure, that was in my last video, and I'm just going to keep using this one till it literally falls apart. But it is from Nyx, Nyx. I got this in a kit. I want to say I was year 8, so that would have been 2014 / early 20, no, sorry. That would have been 2012 / the beginning of 2013. Target had a massive sale on all of their like makeup after Christmas, and Nyx had these kits that were like $60 down to like $20. So I bought one. This came with a mascara, an eyeliner, one of the Dusk Till Dawn eyeshadow palettes, a lipstick, and a few other things. But this is the bag that I use. It's black, it's just square, has a zip on top. It's big enough I can carry a full face of makeup with a couple of options for things like eyeshadow or lipsticks, but it's also not too big to where I'm gonna pack everything. So small enough that it'll still fit tucked in the side of my suitcase if I'm going somewhere international, but also big enough to hold everything. And I've had it for 6 years, and surprisingly I actually use this quite a lot, because not as much now, but I used to go to my dad's house every second weekend. I'd pack this. And, you know, if I go over to a friend's house or, you know, things like that, sometimes I used to just keep my makeup in here. So it's obviously not falling apart, hasn't frayed anywhere. It's a bit dirty, but props to Nyx because this has lasted so long. So I've had this for like, what, 6 years at least, and it's still going strong. This is in no particular order. I'm just going to go in, pull the things out and show you, but this is what the inside looks like. I just try and jam everything in there as easy as possible, and I still have a little bit of wriggle room in here, which usually ends up happening for my lipsticks. But I will say I do generally keep my lipsticks and things like that in my handbag. I keep one in my handbag at all times that I like to use for everything, but if I'm going traveling, I'll just put them like in the front pocket of my handbag. That's where I'll keep them. So the first thing is probably what everyone wonders about, you know, when you watch the makeup bag videos, is eyeshadow palettes. I personally do not like to travel with a lot of high-end makeup, because even though I am working, things like that are still expensive. I'd rather replace a $15 foundation than my Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is $58 at Sephora. Pretty sure I can get it at David Jones for $50. But I would rather replace a $15 foundation than a $60 foundation. So the eyeshadow palettes I take are actually these two Popfeel ones, because they're small, they're compact, they're very cheap. So if I do shatter them, lose them or something like that, they're very cheap to replace and things like that. They're readily available on Wish. I do take both of them. I might seem a bit excessive, but you have this one which has all of your shimmer colors, so I could use this on my lid for a very nice light look if I want like a barely there makeup look. I got the golds and bronzes, plus I have some colors, so I got the blue, I got a grey for a nice smoky eye, I have a dark green, I have a purple, an orange, this magenta shade, this peachy pink thing here is so beautiful. I actually love to mix these two together, and sometimes a tiny bit of that gold, and it creates the most beautiful rose gold. These shades are actually beautiful. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, they're the same as, you know, Anastasia shimmers, but they are beautiful. When I use these on my lid, they give that like wet metallic look. I'm not wearing these shades today. I'm wearing a different eyeshadow altogether, but these ones just give me, you know, some shimmer shades on my lid because I don't necessarily always want a matte look. The second one is the first palette, and it is the one with all the matte shades. So this one can give me like the real barely there look if I just want to put a tiny bit of makeup on to make myself look a bit presentable. And I got like the really dark shades to make it, you know, smoky and dramatic if I want to. I got this pink shade if I want to do like a pop of color. The two oranges if I want to make it super, super warm. This is a dark purple, so I can do a purple based look. And honestly, like if I'm going overseas or just anywhere in general, that gives me enough options to where I don't have too many looks, but I can stand there and play with it and figure out what look I want to do. Next thing is actually another palette, and this is blush, bronzer and highlighter. Now, I do want to say if I go on a holiday, I am more likely to go in the summer or very early autumn, so I have a darker tan, darker colouring than what I am now. It is winter right now. I have not been outside unless I'm just walking to the car, plus it is like horrifically cloudy today, and it has been cloudy and raining on and off for like the past month. So this cut is more for assuming I'm slightly darker, but I'm actually wearing it today and I can get away with it just fine. This is my Mini Star Blush Contour Palette. This again is from Wish. This also does come in two other colours, which I do plan on buying because they look very nice. This one is not a contour palette on me, however, one of them, it does look like the shade is a contour one. Obviously, I have to wait and see. This one is number 1, so there's 2 and 3 as well. But it just comes with, obviously, a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. The bronzer is really nice, so if I put just a little bit on, it's enough where I can shape my face and warm my skin up. I can go a little bit overboard, so with this one, I tend to use a more flimsy brush. So I actually used my little Bare Minerals, like, expert face brush. I got a Bare Minerals kit a few years ago, and I just used that brush to put the bronzer on today, instead of my Real Techniques buffing brush. That would make it go way overboard. This blush is also pigmented and it's matte as well, and it is just a gorgeous colour. I honestly will just pull this whole palette out to use just for the blush. It is beautiful. I love these like deep rosy tones, and I can put just a tiny touch on to where I look a little bit flushed, or if I'm darker, I can put, you know, a little bit on just to, like, I find this colour looks really good on me when I'm fair and when I'm tan, and I can put just the tiniest bit on, or I can make myself look like, you know, blushing, and it's really nice. And they're super creamy, they blend out really easy, they're really nice and matte, and I also do like them as eyeshadows. And this highlighter here, as you can see, is a really nice like golden peachy colour. I am actually wearing all of these today. The highlighter is a little bit chunkier than some of my other highlighters, but honestly, if I'm a bit darker or like just for traveling, I don't really care. On brows, it literally depends on what I'm using at the time. However, I will more take a powder slash cream product instead of, say, a pencil, because with pencil I have to always clean up my brows and it's just a mess, and then I have to sharpen it. So the brow kit I have at the moment is the Rimmel Brow This Way one, and I actually think I will continue to purchase this one. However, if I was buying one just to travel with, I would buy this one over, say, the e.l.f one. The e.l.f one comes with a brush, but it's got an angle brush on one end, and the other end honestly looks like a small tiny brush I would use to like pack eyeshadow on my lid. Whereas this one actually comes with a tiny little spoolie, which actually is like surprisingly works. And then it comes with a double-ended angled brush. So I actually have been using these little brushes the past few days just to test them out and see how well they work. So personally for me, if I was traveling, this would be slightly better for me because it comes with those two brushes. I've got my Sugar Box Super Stage Fit powder, and again, this is a Wish product. I wish not everything, I kind of tried not to put a lot of Wish products in here, but I like them. So this powder's in number 1, and I don't have a huge amount in here, but I have backups. So this I actually use on my face and under my eyes. So I've more packed this in here to use it under my eyes, because it has a hell of a lot of coverage, and it works really well, and it's nice and brightening. So I also like will take this and use it for some coverage and things like that on smaller areas if I need it. But this is just a very nice generic pressed powder, but I do like it mainly for under my eyes. The other powder I will take is going to be a super matte pressed powder. So the one I've chosen at the moment is the Maybelline Matte Maker. This one in particular is just because it's my favorite that's at the moment, but if I didn't have this, or if I didn't have this in my right shade, this one is in the shade Classic Ivory, which is obviously my pale shade. But if I, for example, only had this color and I was a lot darker, I would take my Rimmel Stay Matte. So it also depends on how much is left in each product. This one I've actually hit pan on recently, so it depends on what coloring I am and things like that. But I will take a matte pressed powder. This one also adds coverage, but not as much as this one. So I use both of them under my eyes. It's just this one is too matte for me to use under my eyes. However, I will use it, but I will even mix both of those together, things like that. I always take a very matte pressed powder just because I'm super oily. I have a concealer combo at the moment that I have been loving, and it is mixing my Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer with the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I bought this, I want to say about a month and a half ago to try. It is way too thick and creamy and matte for me to use it on its own. It reminds me a lot of the Colourpop concealer, but thicker and creamier. The Colourpop one is a bit of a thicker formula. And also the shade is way too pale for me. I own the shade Fair Beige, so I've started mixing it in with every concealer that I have, and it actually looks the best mixed in with my Rimmel Wake Me Up. This I used to absolutely love, and I think my pale skin colour is paler than what it used to be, because I used to be able to use this just straight out of the tube on its own. I don't know if mine have darkened because I've had them for so long, but this is too dark for me, this is too pale, so I mix it together. But this also does not have enough coverage, and it is way too dewy for me to use now. Under my eyes have changed a heck of a lot in the past few years. But this one has got like the Radiant Glow anti-fatigue stuff. But I'll mix this in with the e.l.f. one. I will put just the tiniest dot of this in it, and it makes it just, it adds more coverage, it brightens it up, mixing them together. This will make the e.l.f. one less cakey and things like that. So I actually really like mixing these two together. I have my NYX Butter glosses, the one in the colour Madeline, and I also have Fortune Cookie. I never go anywhere without these. These are absolutely amazing, particularly the shade Madeline. I will mix them both together. This shade Madeline can fix like any nude lipstick. If I put one on and it is too yellow, too orange, too peachy, too light, too dark, whatever, I can put this on and it will fix anything. And then I will take Fortune Cookie because sometimes I put it just in the center of my lips just to give that more 3D effect. But I have to say these NYX Butter glosses are like my favorite. Foundation I would prefer to travel with is my Maybelline Matte and Poreless. This one is in the shade 112, which is the color I pretty much am going to use all the time now. It is too dark for me, but basically 110 matches me perfectly. But when I use a foundation that matches me perfectly, I'm always getting comments from my mum and my grandma telling me that I look dead, and that it doesn't matter how much bronzer I pile on, I will put on powders that are too dark and they will tell me I look dead. Even today, my grandma told me I look too pale and I look like I'm a ghost, even though in real life my foundation is too dark and I have a buttload of bronzer on. She doesn't care. I think also as well, my family's not as used to seeing me with makeup on anymore, but I use the shade 110. This basically is my second favorite foundation ever. It's my favorite affordable one. My all-time favorite's Estee Lauder Double Wear, but I refuse to travel with that because there's no way I am going to suddenly replace a $50 foundation when this is $15 at Kmart. So the shade 112 works for me because I'll put on a slightly paler powder, but it's matte, it covers everything. I can put the tiniest bit on and get like a really light coverage. I can put, you know, a little bit more on and I can make it full coverage. It lasts a while on my skin, and I just really love it. This is honestly like my fourth bottle, not of this shade, but just my fourth bottle in general. I will take my little Rimmel Match Perfection concealer everywhere. I don't use this for concealer, I use this just to clean up my brows. The mascaras that I take, it all depends on just what I have open at the time. I always, when I travel, like to take a waterproof just because I don't know what will happen. When I'm in a different environment, environment, like a different climate. My eyes sometimes burn and sting. So the waterproof ones I actually prefer to take are like the Covergirl ones. This one in particular is actually Lash Blast Fusion. I bought this waterproof version by accident, didn't realize, but I prefer the Covergirl waterproof ones. I also love this for my lower lashes. They make my lower lashes look amazing. I would purchase these just for my lower lashes. So these are my waterproof versions, and the other two I have opened is just this OXX Studio one. I'll put this on first because it makes my lashes really fluffy and fluttery, and I'll thicken them up with a bit of this Maybelline Colossal Volume Big Shot. But really these two, it just depends on what I have opened. I might have my Maybelline Smoky one, I might have a high-end one, it just depends on what's open at the time. But these are what I have now. For eye primer, it is absolutely no surprise. I use my M.a.c Soft Ochre Paintpot. I actually cannot use the e.l.f. concealer as an eye primer. I've tried. It's too creamy and too thick. It does wear down and crease and like go really oily and dissolve, so I cannot use that as an eye primer. I will just take my M.a.c Soft Ochre Paint Pot. Also, if I'm going in a hotter climate, it is easier and better for me to take this because it just works the best. When I travel, I take one eyeshadow base, as in like cream eyeshadow base. If I'm just going somewhere for the weekend and I have a specific look in mind, I'll take a certain color, but just in general, I will take a white one. So this is my Maybelline Colour Tattoo in the color Too Cool, and this is basically like the shimmery white one. I will take this so I can put any of those Popfeel shimmery eyeshadows over the top. If I have some room in my bag, I might put the champagne one or a gold base or something, because those are what I use a bit more often. But just in general, I will use my white one. They all look a bit crumbly and cracky, but I promise they actually aren't. I just had to stir them up. Eyeliner, I will take these, but I tend to not really use them as much anymore. I'm not using eyeliner as much in general because I just get so sick and tired of it all coming down here when I'm trying to take it off. It'll still get stuck in my lashes, it'll still get stuck on my waterline, and no matter how much I clean my eyes or use my purity cleanser, I'll wake up in the morning looking like a raccoon and then I can't get it off. However, for liquid eyeliner, I take my Maybelline Hyperglossy. Unless this has run out, I will take my designer brands one or something, but at the moment my favorite is the Maybelline Hyperglossy. All the packaging, like the stuff came off the packaging. Again, when I went away with my dad, I don't even know how because I didn't move my bag. But this is in black. I really like it. It's super easy to use. It can get such a super thin line. So if I just want to have, say, flawless face, red lip, winged eyeliner, fluffy mascara, then I will. That can get a super nice line. And it's one of the only ones that will draw over massively metallic eyeshadows. So if I use a heap of this base and like pack on an eyeshadow, that will draw over it very easy. For a pencil, I will just take black, unless I think, okay, if we're going out for dinner, I'll wear this dress and this eyeliner. Like, unless I have a specific look I want to do, I'll just take black, won't even bother with the white. This is my Davis waterproof. These are eyeliners and lip liners. They come in a set of 2. I bought these on Wish, but they come in a set of 2 because the idea is you can use them as eyeliners and lip liners. So they've also got red, they've got green, like they've got eyeliner colors, so red, green, blue, black, white, they've got those, but they also have, you know, like they've got red and pink and things like that you can use on your lips as well. So that's why they come in a 2. It's designed, you can use one on your lips and one on your eyes, but I just use obviously the black on my eyes. So yeah, this is my favorite eyeliner at the moment. Doesn't last too long, but I don't mind taking it with me and touching it up throughout the day. There is one lip combo I pretty much travel with all the time. Well, now I will travel with all the time. This basically lives in my handbag / in my little drawers at in my makeup stand here. The first one is just one of these True Lips lip liners. I don't even know what number it is. I'm pretty sure the number has come off it, but it's like a generic nudie pink color. These True Lips lip liners I actually really like. I know a lot of people would probably hate them, but they're like creamy enough to where you can draw it on and get a really nice line, but they're dry. I like a slightly drier lip liner because then I know it's gonna stay. So I use that with this Maybelline Colour Jolt in the colour Stripped Down. I will put the tiniest bit of this on to where it's like glossy and shiny, but not enough to where it's really thick and gross. I still cannot stand the smell of this. It smells like watermelon chewing gum, like specifically watermelon chewing gum. It's not just watermelon, it's chewing gum. But I love this color. I cannot get enough of it. I was going to put it on today, but I feel like it's a bit too pink for my eyes at the moment, but this is one of my go-to lip combos at the moment. And last but not least, I do just chuck in my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer because I love this concealer. I know it works. Those two that I have there, the e.l.f. and the Rimmel, don't really match my skin itself. So this one I will use if I need to use it on my face. So if I have big breakouts or if my foundation doesn't cover here or something like that, this is the shade I can use on my face. This is the shade 15, but it is the old shade. This, I actually ended up pulling the stopper out of it this morning. I am wearing this as my concealer today. I ended up pulling the stopper out of this morning because it seems like no matter how much I use this, I cannot empty it. So I hope you guys had a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. The products I mentioned will be listed in the description box down below if you missed anything. Again, please let me know if you think I missed a category because I will definitely tell you what product I will take for that. But these are the actual products I will take traveling if I go somewhere, things like that. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Please hit the subscribe button and I will see you in my next video. Bye!